We begin with breaking news tonight as Denver police search for a driver who crashed into several people at a bus stop, then left the scene. This is a photo of that suspected driver running away after the wreck, and police say they do know who this man is. Thanks for joining us tonight on Channel 2. I'm Hema Muller.
And I'm Nick Emmons. 4 people were rushed to the hospital this afternoon. 1 person with serious injuries. Right now, no sign of that driver who hit them. This happened at the bus stop at Colfax and Josephine in Denver just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. Channel 2's Justin Joseph was on the scene just moments after the crash.
The accident happened here at this bus stop on the other side of the street. The 3 individuals were sitting on a park bench like this. The car came up over the curb, crashing into them with such force it broke the wood in half. I picked up this piece of wood from the other side of the street, and you can see the force of the impact. Tonight, Denver police say they are still looking for the man behind the wheel. Quick thinking led Mark Hammerlin to snap this photograph of the suspect running after he and 2 other men tried tackling him.
He started to get aggressive and just took down off the alley, and I told him I was going to take his picture if he left, and so I got a picture of him, but it was just his backside, but I did see him face to face.
Fate brought Hammerlin and dozens of other witnesses to the busy corner of Colfax and Josephine just after lunch.
I heard a man scream, "Help!"
They all watched as this gray car careened over a curb, crashing into a crowded bus stop.
And I looked up and he just ran through.
Witnesses ran to help.
There were people that were hurt, and I had to make sure that they wouldn't move too much.
But the suspect ran in the other direction.
He seemed like he hesitated for a moment. He just kind of moved forward to the front end, took a look down, and just took off.
Witnesses say the crash injured 3, including 1 seriously, after the out-of-control car pinned him to a bus stop. 15 feet away, Dr. Michael Chen was getting a haircut.
Unfortunately, it looked like he had a couple open fractures. He was impaled on the fence post.
We were like, don't risk your safety, and just the guy took off down the alley.
The man ran 5 blocks to Race and 16th, where police scent dogs tried tracking him. They had no luck, but with clear images like this captured by alert witnesses, police say it won't be long before they know exactly who he is. And you're looking at a picture of the garbage can where the car ran into it. You can see how it is bent in on the side, and just to its right is the park bench I was talking about, now just a pile of wood. Denver police say they are continuing to look for this individual. They say they know his identity. As for the 3 victims, we're told 2 of them will be okay. The 3rd is in the hospital in serious condition. At Colfax and Josephine, Justin Joseph, Channel 2 News.
Now, auto pedestrian accidents are up all over Denver. At this point last year, there were 205 accidents. This year, 250. That's a 22% increase.
Not a statistic we like. Well, Denver's housing market is heating up, and with so many buyers who want in, prices are soaring. Nationally, prices are up more than 12%, the biggest annual gain in 7 years. And here in Denver, prices reached their highest level on record, the first time that's happened to any city since the housing bust. Channel 2's Melody Mendez explains what this means for buyers and sellers.
Dag Peak and his wife knew exactly what they were looking for in a new home. They didn't know what they were up against.
We decided, things are going to be fine. Everything will be nice and sleepy. No problems. But when we jumped back in the market, we found out it was not like that, right? It is white hot.
They put in multiple offers on multiple places and lost them all.
We realized really quickly that we had to be super aggressive.
This competition in the housing market, with too many buyers and too little inventory, sent home prices soaring. The latest Case-Shiller index shows U.S. home prices jumped 12.2% in May. And prices in Denver and Dallas reached record highs, topping their peak during the height of the housing bubble. Another reason for the rising prices is rising interest rates that have more buyers like Dag jumping in.
So we said, oh my gosh, right, if interest rates are really going to spike up like they seem to be, we've got to do something now.
Dr. Kishore Kulkarni, distinguished professor of economics at Metro State University, isn't surprised by the report.
The supply of houses has slowed down, and now we are creating a huge demand for it, and that's why the prices are going up.
It's great for sellers, Kulkarni says, but tough for buyers. Still, he doesn't see another housing bubble burst on the horizon.
They will stabilize when the interest rates go up. And the interest rates going up is not a far distant phenomenon.
Dag got creative, buying a house and rebuilding their dream home on the lot.
They just got us the new plans, and this is going to be a really cool house.
Dr. Kulkarni tells us he does think mortgage rates will continue to climb and the market will stabilize. He says he doesn't see this housing bubble bursting like the last one did. Reporting in Jefferson Park, Melody Mendez, Channel 2 News.
New information on a busy Denver intersection closed for more than 24 hours. Traffic is now flowing at Sheridan and 5th. This after a water main broke early Monday morning. You can see the scene here from Sky 2. Crews with Denver Water rushed into action to get it fixed, but in the meantime, nearby businesses went without water and drivers had to find alternate routes. The area reopened earlier this afternoon just in time for rush hour. Several people are hurt after a car slams into a daycare in Kansas City, Missouri. Police say 2 cars collided outside that daycare, causing one of the cars to veer directly into the building. The driver of one of the cars and 3 children were injured in the crash.
The investigation is underway into a huge nighttime propane explosion in Florida. And while many are relieved that no one is dead, authorities are digging for answers. Smoke rising from a Florida gas plant this morning, a much different scene from last night when several blasts rocked a propane facility, flames shooting into the sky.
It was these giant amber fireworks coming up from the ground, and it was just boom after boom after boom.
The Blue Rhino plant refills gas tanks like the kind you use for barbecue grills. Some 53,000 20-pound cylinders are believed to have been on scene at the time of these blasts, as well as larger propane tanks.
They also have 3 bulk cylinders. Those bulk cylinders hold around 90,000 pounds of propane. The bulk cylinders, thank goodness, did not ignite.
Officials say they don't suspect foul play in the incident in Tavares, about 40 miles northwest of Orlando, but the exact cause of the explosions is still under investigation.
We honestly think it was probably an equipment failure with a combination of maybe human error from one of the staff.
The estimated 24 workers at the plant last night surviving the incident after several were unaccounted for. A few of the crew members suffering injuries.
There was a period of great concern, but now that these employees who scattered early on have come back and got into contact with the management, they are very relieved.
We checked, and Colorado does have 2 facilities similar to that one that blew up in Florida, one in Henderson, northeast of Thornton, and the other in Commerce City. Both were inspected in 2002, and neither had any violations. Another explosion, this one at a green energy products facility in Kansas this morning. Firefighters rushed to pour water on these nearby tanks of methanol to keep them from catching fire. About a dozen people were inside this facility when the fire started. All of them did make it out safely. Fire crews are investigating the cause of this explosion as well.
And new developments in a spy case with national security implications. Bradley Manning found not guilty of aiding the enemy by leaking classified information to the website WikiLeaks. But a military judge did find Manning guilty of espionage, theft, and computer fraud. Government officials say Bradley knew he was helping al-Qaeda when he leaked those documents, but Manning's lawyers say he was a naive 25-year-old who just wanted to ignite debate about war.
You are under obligations, morally and legally, to follow the rules, whether or not you agree with the information being classified.
A hearing to determine Manning's sentence is set to start tomorrow. And still ahead tonight on Colorado's own Channel 2 News at 7, a closer look at a dangerous stretch of road.
Car after car driving off Highway 6 and into Clear Creek Canyon. The crashes are prompting authorities to reanalyze safety on this mountain road.
And a rare brain-eating amoeba infects a 12-year-old girl. This infection has killed every patient who's had it in the past decade. So how can you make sure it doesn't happen to you?
Plus, zombie run participants here in Denver who didn't need fake blood after some real-life violent encounters. We confront the event's organizers.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. It was an overall sunny day and mostly dry until we saw this cell move in this afternoon. Some light showers moving through. We'll let you know how long they're going to last in your pinpoint weather forecast.
A zombie invasion in Denver was supposed to be all in good fun, but this playful run turned painful for some participants on Sunday. The organizers of the nationwide zombie runs are acknowledging their events are getting a little more violent than they would like.
Yeah, on Sunday, participants suffered from some nasty injuries right here in Denver. They emailed us with their complaints, so Channel 2's John Bowman took their concerns to organizers.
Hold Autumn Brooks loves zombies, so when the zombie run hit town, she bansheed up, only to find herself getting tackled by a human runner who was trying to keep her from taking his brains.
Yeah, it was not fun at all. I had a large guy tackle me over a boulder and just left me there, scrapes, bruises. I wasn't planning on bleeding my own blood that day.
EMTs say another zombie on the course had her nose broken when this banana-clad human elbowed or punched her in the face. Runners in the 16-city U.S. tour outfitted with 3 balloons representing their brains around their waist. The object finishing without letting the walking dead take their brains.
It's supposed to be the zombie apocalypse, and the runners are running to save their life to get to the finish to have an after party.
The injuries to zombies, news to race founder Andrew Hodis. Calling into the newsroom, he responded to the complaints.
It goes both ways. Sometimes there are humans that are too aggressive, and sometimes there are zombies that are too aggressive.
Zombies are hungry and they want the brains, which is the life balloon, and they want to just pop as many of those as they can.
Brooks says runners got violent fending off the living dead.
They were just hostile, had something to prove, and were stiff-arming and taking out as many zombies as they could. They were violent to keep us from snagging them.
Race founder Andrew Hodis says they have security off-duty cops and EMTs on the course, but with 3,000 people, injuries will happen.
We've accepted at some level that it's not always feasible.
But I have found a lot of people are complaining about the violence that has been done by the runners.
One zombie saying it was like flag football on pavement. At City Park, John Bowman, Channel 2 News.
Race organizers say they'll take the recent incidents into account to try to make the event safer in the future. Lesson learned, do not do a zombie run. You'll be punched in the face.
And it's scary. I wouldn't want people chasing me while I'm trying to run.
Just grabbing at you, with fake blood.
Taking it, way too far. I think too many people watching Walking Dead and all those
Yes.
zombie movies taking
Yes.
it seriously. It's just a race, guys.
Just
Calm
let 'em
down.
go.
Let them go. All right, overall today, mostly sunny and dry. And then this afternoon, we got a little bit of some rain moving in. You guys took some good pictures, and I'll post those online a little bit later. Follow these guys on Twitter. They've got some good pictures. But today's highs in the 80s, overall dry. We hit almost 90 degrees today, and that's a big jump from what we saw yesterday when temperatures only hit the 70s. As you take a look at those temperatures, when we get a little bit of moisture, we do get pop-up thunderstorms, and that's what we got this afternoon. Overall dry, but there is some circulation making its way in from Wyoming, and you can see as I zoom into the Denver metro area, this cell passed through. So many of us did see some light passing rain right here in the orange and yellows. That's going to be that brief passing showers there, but then everything in the green, mostly just gusty winds here making its way through the area. Some very promising looking clouds outside, and that's why things have changed a bit. There you go, downtown Denver looking very ominous right now. Temperatures in the 70s, and right by the airport we have those thunderstorms already making their way through. Winds from the northeast at 13 miles per hour. Definitely seeing these gusts pick up, and there you go, 26-mile-per-hour gusts because of this system making its way through, pretty much battling with that dry air, and we get some very gusty winds. So as long as that continues to pass, we're going to see some very breezy conditions here. Again, watching that monsoonal moisture wrap around this high pressure system, but again, most of that moisture is into Wyoming and in Nebraska. Now we are getting touched by that right here, and that's that little bit of moisture we saw with that small cell passing through right now. As we go into the evening though, things are expected to dry up, and that's because temperatures will cool down, get that daytime heating, and once again we get thunderstorms. So that's what happened this afternoon. Tonight, look for a dry evening, waking up tomorrow dry once again, and we will see some thunderstorm activity down south in the southeast corner around 1 o'clock tomorrow for Trinidad and Lamar, but everyone else statewide should stay dry. We'll just hug on to some cloud cover, and that'll be the same around 7 o'clock tomorrow up and down I-25, seeing partly cloudy skies. Because we'll see more sun, look for those temperatures to warm up tomorrow into the 90s. That will be the high here in Denver, 80s into the mountains, and 90s down in the southeast. That'll be the warmest spots in La Junta and Lamar for you, and also in the western slope we'll see close to 100-degree temperatures tomorrow. For us here in the metro, look for things to warm up once again. Summer is back. It will be 90 degrees here in downtown Denver. A little bit cooler as you go out to the west in Genesee and Evergreen with upper 70s. Morrison at 85, 85 in Parker, and out towards the east, DIA, Brighton, and also Commerce City in the upper 80s to lower 90s. So another warm day. Things staying mostly sunny to partly cloudy, but again, tonight tonight, a little bit of a chance of a passing shower or two. 59 is your low. It'll be mild and dry, and then we'll clear out late tonight, giving us a sunny start tomorrow. It'll still be warm and it'll be breezy at times. We'll see those winds from the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, so not a bad way to get midweek. Now, we do have chances of showers later on this week after Wednesday and Thursday, 2 dry days, 90s. Then we continue into the 90s for Friday and Saturday and Sunday, getting cooler because we've got a greater chance of seeing those showers erupt here in the afternoons for Saturday and Sunday. So a little bit of a wet weekend to come, but temperatures cooling down. And then Monday, Tuesday, we warm back up into the 90s.
All right, Shauna, thanks. There is a parasite attacking people across the U.S.
It's already shown up in more than a dozen states. Find out how this parasite gets into the body and what you can do to reduce your chances of getting it.
And the West Nile risk is growing. Mosquito tests coming back positive all across the state. Now Colorado counties are fighting back.
And another advantage to breastfeeding. We'll tell you how a mother's milk can affect a child's brain. In health news tonight, the Big Apple's proposed ban on big drinks is falling flat.
Today, an appellate court in New York ruled the ban is unconstitutional. Mayor Michael Bloomberg had wanted to ban the sales of drinks larger than 16 ounces to fight the obesity crisis. But in March, the New York Supreme Court ruled the city could not enforce it. And today, that ruling was upheld. Bloomberg, meantime, says he will appeal.
Well, surgery might not be necessary for women with certain breast tissue abnormalities. Previous research on 2 breast conditions, atypical lobular hyperplasia, ALH, or lobular carcinoma in situ, which is LCIS, have turned up conflicting results on the need for surgery. Now, new research suggests the lesions may be unlikely to progress into cancer, which means surgery could be avoided. And breastfeeding may lead to a higher IQ for children. Researchers at Boston Children's Hospital followed more than 1,300 moms and their kids. They found babies who were breastfed for the first year of life tested better than those not breastfed for as long. Health officials recommend exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months and a continuation of breastfeeding through a year. More and more mosquitoes across the metro area are testing positive for West Nile.
Coming up, we'll tell you which counties are affected and what authorities are doing to keep the bug population at bay.
And it's an infection that has killed every patient it's hit in the last decade. Now, one 12-year-old girl is fighting for her life.
Plus, another car drives off Highway 6 into Clear Creek Canyon. This time, the crash was deadly. We're asking if more could have been done.
Mosquitoes are testing positive for West Nile across Colorado. Jefferson County reports infected mosquitoes in several areas. Boulder County is also seeing more, and it's the same story in Golden. That virus can make you sick. It can even be deadly.
Now, one town is forced to change a venue for a community concert to avoid the blood-sucking bugs. Channel 2's Tammy Vigil has the story from Lafayette.
Mosquitoes caught in a trap here at Wanaka Lake Park last week tested positive for West Nile virus. So besides using insect repellent to stay safe, as you can see on this sign, Lafayette is spraying insecticide tonight to kill off mosquitoes and the danger they present. You can still hear the sounds of children playing at Wanaka Lake Park, but it's what you don't hear that's forcing the sounds of music about a mile down the road to a different venue.
We wanted to make sure that we offered some protection to our residents and felt that it was the best idea to move the concert to an alternate location to keep them out of that area as much as possible.
Mosquitoes trapped at Wanaka Lake and another neighborhood last week tested positive for West Nile. It's the second positive test at Wanaka within 3 weeks.
That's definitely helpful given that they had seen historic high levels of mosquitoes in the Wanaka area.
The concern is infected insects could infect humans, even though just one human statewide has caught the incurable disease. So Boulder County Health is itching to protect the public.
Especially July and August, it's important to keep those personal protective measures in place because that's when most of the exposures happen that potentially produce disease.
This is actually complete news to me. I know that West Nile is prevalent in Colorado, but I did not know it was actually in my backyard.
Parents at Wanaka Lake say they're a little bugged they didn't know sooner about the potential danger from the sneaky bloodsuckers.
I saw some signs for them
that they were going to be spraying, but I wish there would be some notification that it was detected in the area so all moms could be aware and spray the kids.
The Boulder County Health Department says in its most recent testing on Sunday, no mosquitoes had West Nile virus. But because of the wet week we had and the big warm-up that's coming, they anticipate those numbers will grow again. So the best way to protect yourself, wear that insect repellent and also avoid being outdoors when mosquitoes are most active at dusk and dawn. In Lafayette, Tammy Vigil, Channel 2 News.
A local lawmaker is in intensive care with encephalitis caused by the West Nile virus. Now politicians on both sides of the aisle are coming together to help Ken Summers. Democrats and Republicans organizing a fundraiser for Summers next Wednesday to help with his medical costs. The information here right on your screen. It'll be at noon at the Capstone Group offices near the Capitol. For details on this event and how you can donate to his medical fund, go to the politics page at KWGN.com.
A 12-year-old girl in Arkansas is in critical condition, battling a rare but deadly brain-eating parasite. Kaylee Hardig went swimming in a lake at a water park in Little Rock and came down with parasitic meningitis, a rare infection caused by a brain-eating amoeba. There have been 31 cases in the past decade, and all of them were deadly. The amoeba, a parasite called Naegleria, loves warm water like lakes, rivers, and hot springs.
The amoeba then finds itself way back in our noses and then can work its way into our central nervous system, around our brains. And once it's there, it just causes destruction.
Yeah, just terrifying. Symptoms appear within the first week and include headache, fever, nausea, vomiting, and a stiff neck. And then later, lack of attention, loss of balance, seizures, and hallucinations. The Centers for Disease Control lists 4 steps for lowering your risk of infection. 1, avoid swimming in fresh water when the water temperature is high and the water level is low. Hold your nose shut or use nose clips. Don't stir up the sediment in shallow areas, and if you are rinsing your sinuses, use water that's been distilled or sterilized. Unfortunately, this amoeba usually kills patients within 12 days. Kaylee has been in the hospital for 9 days. Another less deadly parasite is sickening hundreds of people across the country. There have been at least 353 confirmed cases of cyclospora infection in more than a dozen states. This parasite is linked to eating contaminated produce. Symptoms include diarrhea, vomiting, loss of appetite, and fatigue. There are no cases in Colorado yet. Right now, cases have been reported in the states in red you see on this map. The good news, this one is treatable. The CDC says all you have to do is wash your fruits and veggies several times to avoid a potential infection.
Well, it's happened at least 4 times since September. Cars going right off the road and into Clear Creek Canyon. Just yesterday, a rollover crash in the canyon proved deadly. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with this area, Clear Creek Canyon Road, also known as Highway 6, gets pretty treacherous just west of Golden, where the road runs parallel with the river. Well, now the question right now is how much can be done to keep drivers safe?
Beautiful scenery scarred by deadly accidents. The latest victim to die while driving on Highway 6 along Clear Creek is 38-year-old Joshua Tracy. State troopers tell us his parents watched as his truck was pulled out of the water some 100 feet from the road.
This is an absolute wake-up call to slow down.
Nate Reed of the Colorado State Patrol says the cause of the accident is still under investigation, but common themes are driving too fast, driving drunk, and driving distracted.
It is a beautiful canyon. What's dangerous about it is it doesn't have guardrail the entire way. To make every road straight would be ideal. It's just unfortunately we can't do that.
Less than 2 weeks ago, rescue crews pulled 2 men from an overturned car after a Good Samaritan saw the wreck. And this past January, a tanker truck collided with 3 cars, sending 2 of them into the icy water. 5 people were hospitalized and 6,000 gallons of liquid asphalt spilled into the creek. And last September, an elderly driver lost control and rolled into the creek, but walked away without major injuries.
A lot of crazy drivers that don't adhere to the speed limit.
Lucas Grego fishes off the side of the highway and says drivers can be reckless.
The roads make me nervous, yeah, and I don't trust the drivers.
CDOT says posted speed signs are often ignored, and it's not possible to put guardrails along the entire highway.
Especially in an area like this where really speed safety does make a difference.
And law enforcement is watching. The highway is patrolled 24 hours a day by state troopers looking for speeders and impaired drivers leaving Blackhawk Casino.
And adding to the dangers, Clear Creek Canyon is so remote, it might take help a while to get to you, and cell phone service is spotty at best in many locations. We're told the victim of Monday's accident may have been in the water 45 minutes before help could arrive.
Well, police need your help identifying human remains found 19 years ago. Investigators released this photo of what the woman may have looked like. They found her remains on the Uncompahgre Plateau near Windy Point. It's a popular hunting and camping spot. Police say this woman is white, about 35 to 45 years old, 5'4" to 5'7". She suffered from TMJ, scoliosis, and had a spine problem. Call police if you recognize her. One man is dead, another in the hospital after a dump truck hits a motorcycle near Ted's Place. Police say the motorcyclist was turning off Highway 14 onto US 287 when the oncoming truck hit and killed him. The truck rolled off the road and crews had to free the driver. He is now in serious condition. Troopers are still investigating this crash.
It's not even an election year, but Colorado Springs is in campaign mode with just 6 weeks until a recall election. Constituents are challenging Democratic lawmakers who voted for gun control laws, and these fights are drawing attention and money from all over the country. Political reporter Eli Stokols has the new details.
With a recall election 6 weeks away, Colorado Springs is in campaign mode with ads already on the air.
John Morse, Chief of Police, State Senator, a life spent fighting crime.
Senate President John Morse's job is on the line because some constituents are angry he voted for gun control bills. Bills which aren't mentioned once in his minute-long ad.
Extreme groups from Denver want a costly recall. Over $300,000 for new elections, just because they disagree with a vote. That's not what recalls are for.
The first TV ad attacking Morse comes from Dudley Brown's group.
Paid for by the National Association for Gun Rights.
Linking the lawmaker to the godfather of gun control.
In the state Senate, John Morse is taking his marching orders from the East Coast politicians like billionaire New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg.
Mike Bloomberg's group, Mayors Against Illegal Guns, lobbied hard for the new Colorado laws. On Monday, a reporter asked the New York City mayor if he'd be supporting Morse and Senator Angela Hiron, who's also facing a recall.
Your organization?
I don't know. Funny thing is, I made myself a note to check. I certainly hope so.
Also Monday, the pro-gun control super PAC formed by former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords and her husband Mark Kelly emailed its members asking for money to help the two Colorado Democrats. Activists on both sides recognizing that what happens on September 10th is about much more than these lawmakers' jobs. You'll see several $1 million being spent down in Pueblo and Colorado Springs over the next 6 weeks because of what's at stake long-term on this issue. Both sides understand that if Morse or Hiron or perhaps both lawmakers lose their seats, it will be even tougher for Democrats in Washington and around the country to move forward with new gun control laws. I'm Eli Stokols, Channel 2 News.
Staying with politics, Hillary Clinton hasn't announced whether she'll run for president, but that is not stopping the money from rolling in. 3 years out, and supporters are pouring cash into a possible presidential campaign. The Ready for Hillary Super PAC has raised more than $1 million over the past 3 months. That is from some 9,000 donors. Most of the contributions were $25 or less. On the GOP side, still no clear frontrunner, but the top candidates that will most likely run are Florida Senator Marco Rubio, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and Kentucky Senator Rand Paul.
Well, if you're an outdoorsy person, we have some good news for you. One of the nation's oldest and largest outdoor retailers is coming right here to the metro area. Cabela's is not opening 1, but 2 locations in the metro area. Channel 2's Dan DeRue has the details.
On August 15th, your options for outdoor gear just got a whole lot bigger. The world-renowned retailer of hunting, fishing, and camping gear, Cabela's, will open its doors for lovers of the outdoors. It's a pretty big deal.
It's a huge deal.
With over 90,000 square feet for each of the 2 stores, one in Thornton, one in Lone Tree, consumers of hunting, fishing, and camping gear will no more have to travel to Nebraska to shop at a brick-and-mortar Cabela's.
We have a building that's more efficient and allows us to bring more of our, or the same amount, of our SKUs into this market.
With stores like Sportsman's Warehouse and the giant Bass Pro Shops here in Denver, the question for Cabela's is, what took you so long?
It's a great question. Certainly, we've had a desire to be in this market for a number of years. And for different reasons, we're not able to make that work.
But now, Cabela's is putting Coloradans to work like Fallon Long.
The second that you start with this company, you feel the family atmosphere.
With an enthusiastic employee cheer and a little more stocking, Cabela's will open in Colorado. Dan DeRue, Channel 2 News.
And Cabela's has a pretty good reason to want to come to this area. In just 1 year, Coloradans spend more than $13.2 billion on all outdoor sports and activities. You contribute a little to that, don't you, Nick?
I like camping
Yeah,
and activities and sports and stuff.
Just check it out.
Okay.
Well, it's summer. It's time to get outside and get moving, maybe go camping. But wait, not so fast.
Before you make the transition from the office to the outdoors for a little exercise, doctors say there's one thing you've got to do first. We'll show you what it is after the break.
And in sports, shipping out why the Nuggets are already moving rookie guard Eric Green.
And after a warm day, our temperatures are getting into the 70s tonight. We're going to see a little bit of rain later on this week and some warmer temperatures. I'll have all those details coming up in your Pinpoint Weather Forecast.
With summer temperatures, more people are grabbing their running shoes or climbing on a bike to get some outdoor exercise.
Yeah, the weather's great for it, but after those lazy winter months, the exercise could cause some major pain. Tonight, Channel 2's Shaul Turner has some advice about how to make the transition from a sedentary to an active lifestyle.
Walking, jogging, playing tennis. It all looks so easy, but if you've spent most of your time on the couch or at a desk, it can be difficult to get out there and exercise.
It's tough. It's definitely tough.
Anne, a jogger, stays active, but admits ramping it up when the weather's nice can be a challenge.
I've torn ACL. I've had a couple pulled muscles and things like that.
Dr. Ryan Tucksher of Cherry Creek Spine and Sports says he also sees more back injuries this time of year.
A lot of us are sitting at our desks day in, day out, working, and it's a repetitive motion where those muscles tighten up.
And it's not just the constant sitting. It's also typing on your keyboard, sometimes for hours at a time, and typing on your smartphone.
We're typing, and it's putting a lot of stress and strain on the neck and the mid-back.
So before you start an outdoor routine, stretch.
Everyone talks about rehab. We preach a lot of prehab. We spend a lot of time seated, and so the muscles shorten and contract. So the easiest way is we use a chair, a table, or even the floor. We put our knee right like this, and we go straight forward.
A hamstring stretch completes the routine.
So we want to go in, have our leg right like this. We want to lean forward to stretch, and we want to do it at 3 different angles. We want to do 90 degrees, then you'll hold that for 20 to 30 seconds, and then you'll go in, rotate the foot, lean forward again, 20 to 30 seconds.
Definitely, doctor's right. You got to do some stretching before you get started.
It's also a good idea to start with a short 15-minute workout, then gradually add more time. And don't forget to drink plenty of water to keep your body running like a well-oiled machine before all of this nice weather disappears. Shaul Turner, Channel 2 News.
Not the last thing we want to see right now, all that snow. Well, Dr. Tucksher says if back pain does continue for more than 5 days, you should contact your doctor. For more information on beginning a more active lifestyle, you can visit our website, KWGN.com. Just click the on-air tab. And that snow is not something we have in our forecast right now, thankfully, but it is getting a little wet out there.
Yeah, we did see a little bit of rain, but you know what you get after the rain? A
Rainbow?
rainbow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, do we have one?
We might have a rainbow on our storm tracker here. Let's take a look at Pinpoint Weather Tracker.
Oh,
there it is. This is I-70 out east near Watkins. A little bit of rainbow to the left of your screen right there. A rainy evening as the storm heads out towards the east, but Denver metro area did see some of that light rain move through. Not so much of a rainbow out here, but some strong heavy gusts move through as well. Let's take a look at that map outside the door. Actually, I do have a time lapse first of all. It started off nice and dry and sunny today, and then when we got that convective heating in the afternoon, you get the moisture and the heat, and those clouds start to develop, and we did see a little bit of some rain move through. Very light gusts and a quick moving storm. So at this hour, as I take you through the radar, you can see that that system has moved out towards the east. We do have some clearing out towards the west right now, and some strong heavy gusts made their way through just about 30 minutes ago. This is weakening, so you don't really have to worry about anything for the rest of the night. Things should stay dry for us here as we go into the evening, and temperatures should stay mild, 50 degrees, 59 degrees for our night. Now, Denver, we are talking about clearing here. That sun is peeking through, so those temperatures are staying pretty steady in the 70s. It's about 73 degrees out the door right now. Towards the airport, airport, where we do have a sensor, there is a little bit of lightning passing through with that storm I pointed out a little bit earlier on. Winds from the northwest at 13 miles per hour. But again, this is expected to end a little bit earlier tonight. Wind gusts at 26 miles per hour here in Denver, and just right there where that cell passed. Other than that, we're going to see things calm down tonight, and you're looking at a nice evening ahead. Dry conditions as you go to bed tonight. Then we wake up tomorrow with dry conditions as well. Just a little bit of some shower activity down south around 1 o'clock for everyone in Lamar, La Junta, and Trinidad. And then throughout the day, we're going to stay pretty much dry, just hugging on to some cloud cover here up and down I-25 throughout the afternoon. And around 7 o'clock, we could be seeing mostly cloudy skies. But other than that, temperatures looking a little bit warmer with that sun that we'll get earlier on in the day. Another warm one for us here at Denver, 90 degrees here. 80s for everyone in the north with Greeley and Akron at 89 degrees. In the south, look for those 90s, warmer temperatures for La Junta and Lamar. And in the mountains, pretty nice temperatures in the 80s with 81 in Gunnison, Aspen at 83, Eagle at 85. In the western slope, look for those 90s as well, lower 90s for you. But as you go into the metro, those temperatures will warm up as well. Yesterday, we were in the 70s. Today, got a lot warmer, and you can expect to see pretty much the same thing tomorrow. Upper 70s for the foothills here. Estes Park at 78, Jamestown at 76, the same for Nederland. And as you go towards the east, we'll see those upper 80s for Longmont, Greeley, and Eaton. 84 in Gilchrist tomorrow. Downtown Denver right at 90. Aurora at 89 degrees. Commerce City, you're at 89. And down south, a little bit cooler for some of us here along the foothills with Evergreen, Conifer, and Pine in the upper 70s. Castle Rock at 86. Castle Pines at 84 degrees. So as you go into your day tomorrow, Wednesday looking not too bad. We're going to start off warm with 68 degrees. That sun will warm us up quickly through lunchtime to the 80s, 82 degrees. Then by 5, look for temperatures that kind of sit around 90 and upper 80s for many of us here. Overall staying dry, and it's going to be a nice couple days for us here on the 7-day forecast. You can see Thursday staying in the 90s. Then we've got that chance of thunderstorms returning for the weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will start to cool down just a little bit into the 80s as that rain will help cool things down, giving us a break from the heat. Then the heat returns Monday and Tuesday with highs in the 90s.
Now, Channel 2 Sports with Nick Griffith.
All right, Nuggets fans anxious to see their new draft pick, Eric Green, this year. To do so, going to need to buy an air ticket. So you'll have to travel to Italy. Yeah, as announced this afternoon, the Nuggets are shipping the 46th overall selection to play for EuroLeague power Siena. The Nuggets are not quite giving up on Green. They plan to monitor his progress overseas and hope to find a spot on the roster for him perhaps this time next season. He's signing a one-year deal over there. After 5 consecutive days of training camp, the Broncos enjoyed their first off day of camp this season. Notice today, at least the players enjoyed the off day.
Yeah, I'm a flight of 8. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're working. That's player off day, just for the record.
Gotcha, Coach. Peyton Manning, meanwhile, the Broncos, we know they're a fast-paced offense. Well, new Eagles head coach Chip Kelly wants to be the fastest. Says he's looking to average a play every 12 seconds. However, that may not be possible. The NFL coming out today saying it's important that all teams understand that the officials will ultimately control tempo, will not be allowed to hike the ball until the referees are in place and ready to go. We'll see how that affects the Eagles and perhaps even the Broncos. Entering the day, 6.5 games out of first place. Still unsure whether the Rockies are buyers or sellers in the second half of this season. Now, there is word today the team is dangling left-handed relief pitcher Josh Outman out into the trade bait pool. Reports are that both the Red Sox and the Indians are showing interest in the lefty. The Rockies on the road tonight in Atlanta, trying to rebound from that Game 1 walk-off loss last night in the 10th inning. This helps.
This ball's in the air to deep left field, way back. Arenado has done it again.
Second home run in as many nights for the rookie Arenado. Home run number 9 on the season. It's a 2-run shot. At the time, it gave the Rocks a lead 3-1 in the 3rd inning. However, next inning, the Braves answer with a 6-run 4th, capped off by this Brian McCann 3-run shot off of Juan Nicasio. 8 earned runs for Nicasio tonight. There's a reason why Atlanta's running away with the NL East right now. Pretty darn good. Last check, they're all over the Rocks, 8-3 in the 7th inning. Back to football. A lot of decisions out at the Ravens training camp today. For the second straight year, John Harbaugh treating his team by unexpectedly wheeling out an ice cream truck after practice. A big hit with the players. They won the Super Bowl last year. Maybe something to be said for that ice cream truck.
Hope they cramp up.
Eat too much ice cream, gain too much weight, and they're slow and lazy on week number 1 of the season here in Denver.
Yeah, eat all the ice cream you want.
There you
Ravens.
go. Eat it up.
Good shit. That looked good. I love those little ice cream cones.
We have one of those in the studio.
Yeah, we'll take it here down the football field.
All right.
Yes,
Thanks.
sure.
Well, coming up, some legal drama in your entertainment news. Yeah, whoops, some real-life drama for 2 reality TV show stars. How much time this now famous New Jersey couple could spend behind bars, coming up.
Well, there's some real trouble for 2 Real Housewives of New Jersey stars.
Yep, not good news here. The reality TV show stars in court today charged in an extensive 39-count indictment.
Why'd you have to go there?
Yep, this is Teresa. Okay, I don't watch this, so is it Giudice? Giudice?
I don't know.
And her husband, Giuseppe Joe Giudice, are charged with conspiring to defraud lenders and illegally obtain mortgages. They're also accused of making false statements on loan applications and bankruptcy fraud. They will plead not guilty to, or Teresa Giudice will plead not guilty to the charges, according to a statement from her lawyer. The 2 face up to 30 years in prison and a $1 million fine if convicted on the most serious of the charges, which could put the popular Bravo show in jeopardy.
Apparently, we need to brush up.
We need to brush up on our Real Housewives.
Real
I
Housewives.
apologize that I couldn't pronounce
I just
her
know
name.
like they're like the loudest ones
Yeah.
and obnoxious.
She's not the one that makes the skinny margarita mix, is she? Is that a different one? I think that's Bethany. I got to keep my housewives
I don't even know
straight.
these people. I'm just smiling and nodding.
Yeah,
Well, for all
trouble.
your non-Real Housewives news of the day, you can keep up with us
Yes.
on Twitter. We post news stories, personal thoughts, photos. You can find me at Hema Muller.
And I'm at Emmons Nick.
Thanks for joining us. Remember, Daybreak tomorrow morning, 5 to 9.